the second Sunday of Advent, in the context of today's gospel, I was just reminded of the experience that I went through when I was on top of the Twin Tower in USA in the year 1998, just a couple of years before the tragedy took place, sending it down to ground zero just like a pack of cards. If I remember well, I think it had 10 floors, more or less what I can recollect. A lift that can carry 50 people at a time takes you to the 107th floor just in a jiffy, and from there it is all shopping complexes, and you move up to 110th floor through escalators. Really a fantastic experience to be on top of the world. And believe me, crowded like anything. I still remember thinking in my mind, being right on top of the world. Oh God, what happens to all these people if something happens to the building now? I never even imagined that it would exactly take place a couple of years later, which we call the Twin Tower tragedy. I could not believe my eyes, seeing it right in front of me on TV. The Twin Tower, America's pride, just crumbling down like a pack of cards on September 11th, 2001. Seeing all the chaos surrounding it all, I was literally in tears in my office at Sharjah, UAE, while watching it on TV on that fateful day. Dear friends, what I want to reflect today is not so much what happened that day as to what exactly led to it. Different theories have been associated to it, and that is not our subject today. It was precisely the lack of peace, or the inner turbulence experienced by some people, or even a couple of people, that led to the destruction of Twin Towers, which was the pride of America. When we really look into history, we know as early as 1987, Boris Yeltsin, the then president of Russia, had taken the bold decision to cut its land and naval forces and nuclear warheads by 40% in a year, which made headlines in the papers. That was actually initiated on December 8, 1987, when President Reagan and Gorbachev signed the INF Treaty in Washington. INF stands for Intermediate Range Nuclear Force. This particular treaty was a landmark in the post-war history. So to say, Tuesday, 8th December 1987, shall be written in golden letters in the pages of history. This agreement was a firm step towards peace. At least the then superpowers took some steps and gave a fair chance of peace in the world. How then it failed on that fateful day of the Twin Tower tragedy? That too in the very heart of United States of America, which initiated this peace treaty. A perfect example of a disaster that disturbed the mind or disturbed the minds of people can create. Lack of peace, lack of serenity, lack of happiness, lack of contentment has a potentiality to turn out to be a fertile breeding ground for a total disaster and annihilation. Dear friends, today is a reading in the Gospel promises us peace and serenity. We read in St. Luke chapter 3, verses 1 to 6. A voice of one crying out in the desert, "Prepare the way of the Lord. Make his paths straight. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountains and hill shall be made low. The winding roads will be straightened, and rough roads made smooth, and all people shall see the salvation of God." That God's salvation shall put an end to our sorrow and affliction, and we shall rejoice in God and peace, and serenity shall be established. Great indeed. Now, what is this salvation? What is this peace that the scripture is speaking of? It really means the liberation of man from fear and sin that destroys the peace and joy of man. If the treaty between President Reagan and Gorbachev brought so much of relief to the world, definitely the treaty with God will bring everlasting peace and joy to all. Though this peace and joy are gifts from God, man must prepare himself to receive them. I am just reminded of another story. Once, a certain man went to a guru seeking his blessings. Although he waited for a long time, the guru did not bless him at all. Therefore, when he reminded the guru of it, the guru replied, "How can I bless you? You are full of evil thoughts and wickedness." Dear friends, similarly, if we do not prepare ourselves by overcoming our crooked and evil ways, we too cannot receive the blessings of God. Today's readings present before us a fourfold preparation to meet Christ when He comes. First, every mountain of pride and self-centeredness should be brought low. A proud man is full of himself and thinks that he does not require anyone's help and even refuses to receive anything from others, even from God. Therefore, we have to be more humble and submissive before our God. Secondly, the way of the Lord is straight and not crooked. The inclinations and life of people have to be changed. We may have used oppressive and crooked methods in our relationship with other people in order to acquire wealth and honor. We may have even used duplicity and deviousness to be successful in life. However, we have returned to the right path if we want to travel the path marked out by God in the Scriptures. Thirdly, what is lacking must be supplied. Every valley should be filled. Man displeases God not only when he does something wrong, also when he refuses to do the right thing. We call the sin of omission. Fourth, we need to develop an integrated Christian vision and life. It means we must turn to God and have a clear outlook on the things that really matter. We cannot chain down Christian life to the mere fulfillment of Sunday obligations and a couple of popular devotions and the reciting of certain prayers. Christian life requires that our whole value system, our relationship with God and man, our attitude to wealth, both in acquiring and using it, should be set right. There should be harmony and order in all aspects of our life. If our preparation for Christmas is an earnest effort to bring about these changes, then this year's Christmas celebration will be more meaningful. Otherwise, it will remain a mere external celebration devoid of any spiritual significance. To conclude today, I am just reminded of a circular that was released in the office of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai, on Thursday, the 6th of December this year, announcing the visit of Pope Francis from the 3rd to the 5th of February 2019. The first ever visit of Pope to United Arab Emirates in history. Being there from 1993 to 2012, I can very well have an insight into the historical and the religious significance of this visit, that too with the full support of the ruling authority in UAE. A support that the Catholic Church received starting from the very founder father of UAE has been reconfirmed and consolidated beyond what words can describe. To quote the words of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed himself, a visit that will strengthen our ties and understanding of each other, enhance interfaith dialogue, and help us to work together to maintain and build peace among the nations of the world. To build peace among the nations of the world. I just underline the word peace, which very well coincides with the theme of today, making us really believe in the power of God enunciated in today's gospel reading taken from St. Luke chapter 3 verses 1 to 6. As dear friends, the Lord literally makes His paths straight. The Lord fills every valley and lowers every mountain and hill for us to see and believe. The winding roads has been straightened and the rough roads literally made smooth. And we, the people of God, see the salvation of God. Great indeed. May the Eucharist we celebrate give us grace to open ourselves to God and reform and restructure our lives in the light of the Word of God.